This is CBC Here and Now.
Searches are discontinued. This was not our government that authorized those searches.
The Premier orders a stop to passenger luggage searches on Labrador Marine. But the company says the searches are needed to deter drunkenness and violence. Good evening, I'm Anthony Germain. We start tonight with the latest on a fatal industrial accident on the West Coast. The funeral for Gerard Drover was held today. The Spaniards Bay man was taken off of life support over the weekend. This days after an industrial accident in Stephenville left him with a critical brain injury. Occupational health and safety officers are investigating what happened, but a family member questions just how that investigation is being handled. Here now's Ariana Kellen explains.
55-year-old Gerard Drover is being remembered as many things. A father and grandfather, a skilled musician, a friend, and someone who preached safety on the job site. That's why his death doesn't sit right with his cousin, Marty Gregory.
I don't accept that Gerard Drover was responsible for this. I don't accept that.
Drover was working as a painter-plasterer on the new College of the North Atlantic building in Stephenville on August 27th. His cousin and friend says the scissor lift he was operating came in contact with an overhead industrial fan. It was on, something that should never have happened.
He was the type of guy, always going to training, well versed in how things were supposed to be done. I don't think Gerard was ever concerned about his own safety. He was always concerned about everybody else's.
Service NL says the worksite was shut down that same day. But after hearing from some of Drover's co-workers, Gregory was compelled to call Occupational Health and Safety to make sure.
I asked him what was going on. He said they knew there was an incident, and that's all he knew. I don't think at the time they understood how severe the incident was. That was my impression.
Initially, the RCMP was not contacted. Police weren't notified of the incident until a week later. That's troubling for Gregory.
I felt that, if the investigation got off to a poor start, if the site is not secure, how can the family ever get any answers of what happened there?
These incidents are chilling reminders to everybody that, of the importance of workplace safety.
Jackie Manuel says incidents like this one reverberate throughout the construction industry and give moment of pause.
It's a reminder to everybody how things can go terribly wrong.
A few years ago, Gerard Drover gave up the turnaround life of working in Alberta to be closer to family. He leaves behind 4 children, the youngest being 15, a wife and grandchildren. As the owner of a big construction company himself, his cousin, Roth Loxton President Marty Gregory, knows all about safe work challenges. It's not about blame, he says. It's about answers. Ariana Kellen, CBC News, St. John's.
The Premier is putting a stop to controversial ferry searches. This just 2 days after Here and Now shared exclusive video of Labrador Marine crews rooting through a passenger's luggage. There has been significant reaction to this video taken last week. It shows crew from the Hummetic W searching a woman's bag on the dock in Nain as passengers gawk and mill about. Torngat Mountains MHA Leela Evans has spoken out against these searches. And she says the ferry passengers are largely Indigenous people, and she questions why the same kinds of searches don't happen on other ferries in the province. I asked Premier Dwight Ball, who is also the Minister for Indigenous Affairs, about this controversy earlier today. Were you worried that some people, for instance, white people, non-Indigenous, I should say, going to Fogo, they could put booze and drugs in their luggage, not worry about being searched, but if you were Indigenous, you should be worried?
I agree that we need to have a policy that's consistent no matter where we are and must reflect on why they would need to be done. So this is a time that we'll take now. As I said, these searches have been discontinued. This was not authorized by the Department of Transportation and Works, and a new policy will be put in place in consultation with the new national government and the members to make sure that it reflects what the requirements would be.
So there's Premier Dwight Ball stressing that those ferry searches have been stopped, but According to the head of Labrador Marine, that's all news to him. Peter Woodward says some passengers have been engaging in drunken brawls and debauchery while on board the vessel, and he says the searches are not racially motivated, but part of a zero-tolerance policy that applies to everybody.
We've had people beating each other up, and our crew has been subjected to having to clean up the blood in cabins and things of that nature. We've had incidences where people have been performing sex in public areas aboard the ship, and it's unfortunate. There are very few people that have done this. I'm not talking about a lot of incidences, but it has happened, and it all seems to stem from alcohol consumption. And the only way we can prevent it from happening is to limit their access to alcohol.
Now, Woodward says he doesn't know what it is that the Premier has planned as an alternative to the searches, and he knows nothing about calling off the searches. In fact, he says cracking down on alcohol is already working to improve behavior. More from the head of Labrador Marine ahead on Here and Now. Now, the Premier made those comments during a cabinet shuffle at Government House this morning. Lots of other news, too. The big news out of the shuffle, the Speaker of the House is returning to one of his old jobs in the cabinet. Former House Speaker Perry Trimper takes over the Municipal Affairs and Environment portfolio. Trimper says he's enjoyed his time as Speaker, but he looks forward to the new challenges. Now, he served as Environment Minister before first becoming Speaker of the House in 2017. So this means all the MHAs will have to elect a new Speaker when the House resumes in 2 months.
First thing I need to do when I walk away from here this morning is go resign as Speaker. It's been a great honor. I've been very fortunate to see the inside of a world that most politicians don't get to see. I'm the 44th Speaker in the history of government in this land, so it's been a great honor. I basically said to the Premier, he tested the waters with me, would I be interested in come back? And of course, I'm here to serve, first of all, on behalf of my constituents in Lake Melville, but also on behalf of the Premier. And he said, I'd like to have you back in Cabinet. I could use some help with environment issues and with the collaboration of municipalities. And I said, I will do that.
Well, Scott Reid has been appointed interim Speaker of the House to replace Trimper. Reid is the MHA for St. George's Humber. Well, 2 other cabinet ministers are swapping roles. Christopher Mitchellmore moves out of tourism to take over advanced education, skills and labour. Bernard Davis takes over the tourism, culture, industry and innovation portfolio.
I think this is a great opportunity for tourism in Newfoundland and Labrador with Minister Davis coming into the portfolio. We've done a lot of great work with our Vision 2020, and we're going to continue to build on that.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I keep the face of tourism. As Minister Mitchellmore has done a great job, but I understand the significance that it plays in our economy, so it's really important that you value that and try to visit as many sites as you can.
All right, going to talk about the weather in just a bit. Carolyn standing by. Okay, got over here to get used to all these things. Maybe we've been on vacation for too long. Get the latest on Hurricane Dorian. But first, an update on just what's happening here in our province. Parks Canada is temporarily closing services at 4 parks in the province because of the storm. Parks Canada will close Grosse Morne National Park, Port au Choix, Lancer Meadows, and Red Bay National Historic Sites. Now, they'll be closed to the public on Sunday. Parks Canada says it will monitor how events unfold with a plan to reopen those sites on Monday unless, let's hope this isn't the case, there's significant damage. And also, Marine Atlantic has canceled its crossings tomorrow. This because of the current forecast, and it's asking travelers to check the Marine Atlantic website for the very latest information. Also, major airlines, Air Canada and WestJet, they are also preparing for delays and cancellations. Good news is, though, they are waiving fees for changing your flight. So now that I've got my head looking the right way, let's throw the weather over to Carolyn Stokes. So Carolyn, what's headed our way?
Well, Anthony, here's a look at Hurricane Dorian right now. It is a Category 1 hurricane at the moment churning just off the shore of Virginia. And this is the updated track on what we can expect. Still heading our way, going to hit the Maritimes on Saturday, and then Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's when we'll start to see the effects of what is expected to be a post-tropical storm. But even though it's a post-tropical storm, possibly we still could see hurricane force winds. So there's a hurricane watch in effect for the Corner Brook area, most of the west coast right down through Port aux Basques. So winds could get upwards of 150 kilometers an hour in those areas. There's also a wind warning in place. There's a concern about storm surges, of course, along the south coast. Very, very high waves, pounding surf, that sort of thing. And then we have a tropical storm watch in place for the northern peninsula and a tropical cyclone statement for the southern, southeastern portion of Labrador and the rest of the island. So lots of weather on the way. This is how it's going to play out when it hits on Saturday night into Sunday. So you can see this is Sunday at 5 a.m. Heavy, heavy rain along the west coast there and moving up towards Labrador. Lots of rain coming for the southeastern portion of Labrador. I'll get into all of those details about winds and rainfall amounts in a little bit. Anthony?
Thank you, Carolyn. An elderly man has died in a single vehicle collision on the highway near Springdale. The RCMP were dispatched to Sheffield Brook Bridge at 9 o'clock this morning to a vehicle that had rolled over on the TCH. The passenger was an 82-year-old man from the west coast of Newfoundland, and he died at the scene. The driver is in hospital with critical injuries, and an RCMP collision analyst is investigating. A prolonged court case is painful for a woman who is grieving the death of her husband. 16 months ago, her family handed over thousands of dollars for a headstone, and that headstone was never delivered. Here now's Mark Quinn has more.
Ambrose Cowell's family wanted to honor his life with a monument at his grave, but instead they're mired in a painful legal fight that's not over yet.
My mom, now in her 80s, she no longer has my dad, and this is the side that people don't see. She doesn't get up until noon, she doesn't get dressed, and all she does is cry 24 hours a day. The system has failed her.
Evelyn Geary and Ambrose Cowell had been married more than half a century when the 94-year-old died last year.
It's taking a toll on her. She's feeble now, and she never was like that.
The family says that after Ambrose died, they paid W.D. Kenny Granite Company more than $9,000 for 5 headstones for their family plot in Renews.
16 months later, we still never got our headstones.
They took company owner Bill Kenny to court to try to get their money back, but they've been frustrated with delay after delay, and today's court date was no different. Today they learned their case has been postponed again.
Like a kick in the gut. Again, you know, it just goes to his character. He's doing everything he can to get out of going to court, but it's not going to work. His day is coming.
A trial date has been set for November. CBC News spoke briefly with Bill Kenny on the phone today. He didn't answer questions, but he did say he would return CBC's call later. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
The Centre of Hope now has the money it needs to finish construction. Today, the federal government chipped in the final $1.2 million. The centre is being built in downtown St. John's. Now, the total cost is about $16 million. The federal and provincial governments are now contributing about $5 million of that cost. The Salvation Army is building the centre to provide housing and other support services, such as a food bank, as well as some counselling.
This centre will be like a beacon in this community to let Newfoundlanders and Labradorians know that we're here. We're here providing hope. We're here giving dignity, helping to restore dignity, and giving people a place to call home.
Municipal politicians from towns across the province met in St. John's today to talk about a $600 million problem. The towns are strapped for cash, and they're not complying with federal sewage treatment laws because they just don't have the money to pay. Here now, Cecil Hare reports.
Municipal leaders say wastewater regulations that came into effect 7 years ago are impossible to meet under federal regulations if over 100 cubic meters of raw sewage spew from a pipe each day. It has to be treated. Marystown Mayor Sam Sinyard says it would take $10 million to make his town legal.
We have roads to maintain, we have infrastructure to repair, we have infrastructure to build. So it's not logical to say we're going to shut everything down and just focus on wastewater treatment. That's why the federal government needs to come to the table with an individual pot of money.
It's estimated over 90% of municipalities are currently breaking the law. The regulations say the mayor or the clerk are the owners of the system and are therefore liable for huge fines, up to $1 million, and jail time.
There have been fisheries officers going into small communities, frightening the life out of town clerks, going in, as is their job, with their guns on. And, you know, it's not a funny matter. They will inform these people that you are personally liable. Okay, so the livelihood of your family is threatened. Your own personal freedom is threatened.
Despite the fact that the regulations have been in place since 2012, no charges have been laid in this province. The leaders emerged from the meeting promising to work together to come up with solutions, adding that they'll be asking the federal government for more time to get towns compliant. Cesaire, CBC News, St. John's.
Just look at that. We've been seeing the carnage left behind by Hurricane Dorian as it passed over the Bahamas and hit the United States.
The Maritimes are now bracing for the storm, but what will it be by the time it hits us Saturday night? I'll be by with the breakdown coming up.
Of course, the storm everyone is talking about, Dorian, sending weekend travelers along the country's east coast into a tailspin.
Yes, and in North Carolina, hundreds have been trapped in low-lying areas. Many places are only accessible by boat or by air.
Flood emergencies have been issued for Dare and Hyde counties, and officials are telling people to get to the highest point in their houses.
Well, several people had to be rescued from the top floors of their homes, and hundreds of thousands of homes have lost power as well. Now, the damage, nonetheless, has been far less than what was feared in many parts of the Carolinas. The storm is weaker, but still quite powerful, and it's heading north off the coast as a Category 1 hurricane.
Wow,
Still
look
amazing.
at that. It's incredible, so much damage. But fortunately, by the time it hits us, it's looking like it will be weakening to a post-tropical storm. But even so, it's still going to bring a lot of wind. This is going to be mostly a wind event, although there will be a lot of rain as well. And particularly now with all of the leaves on the trees, with all of that wind, you have a better chance of like trees getting knocked down
carried over.
And all the leaves clogging drains. So lots of things to be mindful of.
So clean up your yard, and we're going to get to the weather we can expect later in the weekend. But I guess look at today.
Yeah, today was great. Today was lovely. It was. Lots of sunshine in St. John's, 19 degrees as the high today. Corner Brook's at a high of 16. Churchill Falls got up to 11 degrees, so it's very, very quiet right now. We do actually have a risk of frost for the Buckins, Deer Lake area, Grand Falls, Windsor, Green Bay, White Bay. So if you have any frost-sensitive plants, you'll want to cover them up tonight, just in case. Tomorrow, very quiet. Looking at some showers or actually, pardon me, this is tonight, not tomorrow. We have a few showers in western Labrador, but you can see everywhere else is very clear. So really not much happening by way of winds tonight. Overnight lows in St. John's 10 degrees. So you can see all of those sparkling stars, really not much to talk about on the island tonight. Similar story in Labrador, some cloud cover and risk of a few showers for Labrador City. So now we move into tomorrow, and it still stays quiet. Not a cloud in the sky in the morning, but as we get into later in the afternoon, the cloud cover starts to move up from the south, and it's going to be a pretty calm day. This is Hurricane Dorian as it's making its way. You can see right here we're at Saturday at 7 o'clock, so we have not seen any of this yet. So Saturday as it stands right now, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, 16 degrees in St. John's, 18 in Bonavista. For central areas, similar story, some cloud cover, 18 degrees there. And on the west coast, similar story there. Up along the straits, more sunshine to enjoy, 16 degrees in Mary's Harbour, and Happy Valley Goose Bay looking at a high of 18 degrees on Saturday. So looking nice and calm and bright. Then we get into Saturday night, and that's what all of these warnings are about. I know there are a lot of colors on here right now, so I'll try to break it down. Big thing is we have a hurricane watch in effect for Gros Morne right down through Port aux Basques. So even though Hurricane Dorian will likely be a post-tropical storm, it could bring hurricane force winds, which could get up to 150, 160 kilometers an hour, particularly in the Wreck House area. There's a concern, especially along the south coast, about storm surges and pounding surf, so you want to be careful in that area. But really everywhere on the island is going to get a taste of it, much more so, though, on the west coast and southeastern Labrador. This is the track. You can see why the west coast will be affected. It goes right up through the straits Saturday night into Sunday morning. So here's a closer look at how these winds are going to play out. Here we are Saturday afternoon, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. By the time we get to 10 o'clock, you can see on the west coast, those winds start to ramp up a little bit. Then by the time we get into early Sunday morning, 5 a.m. overnight, 130 in the Port aux Basques area, and that'll continue, move its way up north throughout the day on Sunday. So yeah, it's going to be pretty windy, but there will also be rain coming along with that. I'll get into more detail about totals a bit later.
Here comes in my mind the quote of Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump. If you have a chocolate box, you never know what's in the box.
Something like that. One Puffin patroller didn't know what he was going to get when he said yes to being the subject of a new documentary. His story coming up. Welcome back. Well, you may be familiar with the fuss that erupted in Witless Bay over the summer that pits private landowners against some locals who worry that the area's shoreline may be developed too quickly. Now, a documentary made by two New York filmmakers is putting the story of Ragged Beach in front of an international audience. Now, the tension over Ragged Beach boiled over in the summer months after an excavator began some work there. Now, some locals felt that it was part of the start of development in the area. Well, now, a new documentary says what's going on in Witless Bay is actually a microcosm of what's happening worldwide. At the center of this documentary is Jürgen Schau. He's a summer resident who spent many years mingling with famous Hollywood stars in his job as an executive with a movie company. Well, after arriving in Witless Bay, Schau created what's called the Puffin Patrol. Pretty famous patrol, a group of people who rescue stranded puffins and send them back out to sea. Well, Carolyn met up with him at his summer home in Witless Bay to talk about the documentary and what's happening in that community.
So, Jürgen, how did you come to be really the focal point of this international documentary?
I honestly don't know why, but as the camera team was calling me 2 years ago, they liked to do the focus on the Puffin Patrol, which I liked very much. But then as they were here, so I had no idea what the documentary is about. I thought about Puffin Patrol, but here comes in my mind the quote of Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump: "If you have a chocolate box, you never know what's in the box."
Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
I think what is in the box, the documentary, it's a great documentary. It's very well done. I liked it very much. And I think the response was also incredibly high. It was really great.
What kind of response have you gotten?
Positive one. I got a really good one because of the Puffin Patrol, what we are doing. And of course, then later on I found out there was a kind of conflict in the community, but honestly, I came from far away, so I can't really judge and feel what's going wrong. But I may say, if we would have a problem in my country or in my family, then what we're doing is we put all people together and then we talk about this, but nothing should be hid. All will be at the table and we talk and discuss it. And hopefully we'll find a solution. And if not, then sometimes you have to call a judge or something like this, but it's good to find a solution. And I only can hope that they do also good solution. What I don't like is that they put all the pressure on few persons, on the council. They have a lot of jobs to do, and then on Miss Lorna Yacht, who is a fighter doing something. It's not fair to put all the pressure on her, but what can I do? So, can I show you my Puffin Patrol former head office?
Oh, I would love to see it. So this is where it all began?
Yes, this was my garage. Then it becomes the Puffin Patrol head office for several years. And imagine, sometimes they were full of boxes with little birds, and they all were trapping and want to be free. It was great moments here, 50, 60 sometimes. And then in the morning, before we released them, they had been banded and all, we did the technical stuff, and then we let them free. And that is a great moment when you see the bird goes first time daylight, first time he touched water, first time he find out he can dive, and then, wow, he will be 4 years alone on the water, comes back as an adult to the same area, to Witless Bay. So Witless Bay is such a special area. I would say it's very unique all over the world. And I must tell you that the people here in Witless Bay and all the other communities doing a very good job. They dim down unnecessary lights and they're taking care. Almost 10,000 birds has been saved. I must tell you, this documentary, it might be good or not good, but we're expecting a lot of more visitors here. A lot of more visitors means a lot of more local businesses, local food, tour boats, souvenirs, all things like this. I don't know the exact feeling of the local people here, but I think the documentary is saying what it is. And it is what it is. And they have to find a solution, I think so, and they will find a solution. And whatever it is, let's see what happened. It's a privilege for us to be here. We are guests, we come from away, and we love the country, we love the people, but I'm so happy with my wife that we found the Puffin Patrol. We could save the little puffin, which is the national bird of our province, so we can give something back. Isn't it great?
It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Well, back to one of our top stories, not just this evening, but this week, a development with the ferry passenger searches along Labrador's coast. The latest today, the company operating the government-funded ferry service has been ordered to stop searching luggage. Now, this comes following accusations that those searches may have been racially motivated. Here and Now first showed you this exclusive video earlier this week, and it sparked a huge outcry from people, especially Indigenous people in coastal Labrador. Now, this morning, the Premier said Labrador Marine has been ordered to stop the searches, but the head of Labrador Marine says, well, that's all news to him. The company says the searches are needed to deter and prevent drunkenness and violence on board the ship.
We've had some significant violence on board the ship, not just verbal, but actual physical violence, where we've had people beating each other up, and our crew has been subjected to having to clean up the blood in cabins and things of that nature. We've had incidences where people have been performing sex in public areas aboard the ship, and you know, it's unfortunate. There are very few people that have done this. I'm not talking about a lot of incidences, but it has happened, and you know, the only way that we can prevent it is it all seems to stem from alcohol consumption. And the only way we can prevent it from happening is to limit their access to alcohol.
Well, first of all, this was not an authorization by the Department of Transportation and Works. This was not our government that authorized those searches. So we quickly sent officials to investigate and do a review of what actually happened here. So these officials now, they're not back on the ground yet, but from the early conversations that we've had is that the searches are discontinued. And what we need now is a policy that we put in place that reflects, you know, what's required on this ferry service. So
Labrador Marine says they're going to do the searches on the vessel, so the searches are continuing. So how do you explain?
The searches are not continuing.
That's not what the company said yesterday.
Our officials are just back on the ground. I just spoke with, we got an update there just about an hour and a half ago. So the searches have been discontinued until we can put a new policy in place to reflect what's required.
The trip to Nain is 3.5 days, so it requires 3 nights of passage. And, you know, if it was a shorter trip, maybe we wouldn't have the same issues that we have. But a 3.5-day trip to Nain, we're having a lot of issues.
Are you worried that some people, for instance, white people, non-Indigenous, I should say, going to Fogo, they could put booze and drugs in their luggage, not worry about being searched, but if you're Indigenous, you should be worried?
Well, the reason why we sent the officials, you know, to Labrador is to find out what happened here. So there needs to be a policy. We need to understand why these decisions were made. You know, I agree that we need to have a policy that's consistent no matter where we are and must reflect on why they would need to be done.
It's not racially motivated at all. We're treating everybody identically. It doesn't matter what race you are. Everyone is being subjected to the same thing. No one's being permitted to access to alcohol while they're on board the ship, and that goes for all races.
As I said, these searches have been discontinued. This was not authorized by the Department of Transportation and Works, and a new policy will be put in place in consultation with the new national government and the members to make sure that it reflects what the requirements would be.
What I can say is that I must assume that the province is going to accept the responsibility for the actions of some of the passengers on board the ship, and they must have a plan that they're going to put in place that is going to prevent the consumption of alcohol, because we're not going to operate the ship with passengers that are drunk on board. You know, it's a very unfortunate thing that, you know, we put a virtually new vessel in place that we've been very proud of, and the crew have been working very diligently to advance the services on the coast of Labrador, and it's just unfortunate. It's very sad.
Welcome back. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control says stop vaping. At least 3 deaths and 450 cases of vaping-related illnesses have now been identified across the U.S. Researchers say there are clinical similarities in lung problems for all of those cases. And one study suggests the culprit might be a vitamin E acetate solvent that is used in some vaping products. But the CDC believes the cause is likely multiple compounds. Many who fell ill had been vaping THC, the chemical that makes marijuana intoxicating. Most of them were teenagers. Well, from the vice of vaping to the dangers of drinking, some obnoxious drunks are stumbling around Ottawa, and they've been behaving badly and passing out in broad daylight. And while these wild nights are rare, biologists say it's only natural. CBC's Robin Miller with more.
Hey. You could say this little guy is drunk as a skunk. Caught on camera stumbling around Stittsville, Julie Fong's husband saw the raccoon just behind their house, and it looked like he'd had one too many.
He said it was sort of stumbling along, just looking completely off, as sort of somebody who may have had a few extra libations would be walking along as.
And what did your kids think?
Later that day, Fong says a bylaw officer came to their door. Apparently, someone had called about the animal who, by that point, was sleeping it off.
So there was a drunk raccoon under your deck?
There was a drunk raccoon under our deck.
No, the raccoons haven't been visiting the local bar. They've more likely been overindulging on fermented fruit, according to one Ottawa naturalist. He didn't examine the raccoons, but says there's an abundance of fruit falling from trees this year.
And it's possible that some of the fruit is fermenting under the heat, and that these guys are getting a bit tipsy by eating that fermenting fruit.
It was laying just over in that area.
Susan Mayo also saw an alleged inebriate snoozing in her neighbor's backyard.
It didn't even move when I came close to it. And then it would sort of like just kind of sit up, didn't move its back legs at all, and then flop over and literally look like it was going back to sleep.
The animal stayed mostly still for hours until the homeowners called 311 and bylaw officers came to pick it up.
He couldn't really move. He was dragging his legs. He was wobbling, having a hard time standing up. You could tell something was wrong with him for sure.
Now the city says residents with concerns can call 311 and a vet will assess what, if any, treatment is required. Because in this case, coffee might not be the answer. Robin Miller, CBC News, Ottawa.
So there you have the mystery. I always wondered why they have those black rings around their eyes. They're all hung over.
I wonder what a raccoon hangover would be like.
Poor creatures. Right, hope your weekend plans are fluid because who knows?
Particularly if you're getting a flight tomorrow, so keep an eye on how that's going to play out.
West Coast too.
Yeah, if you have to like get a connection or anything to Halifax, because that's where Dorian is going to hit pretty hard tomorrow. So why don't we start by having another look at Dorian. This is Hurricane Dorian at the moment, Category 1. Winds gusting up to 185 kilometers an hour just off the coast of Virginia. So tomorrow we're looking at a fairly nice day, actually. 16 degrees in St. John's with a mix of sun and cloud, light winds. 18 degrees for Gander, Grand Falls, Windsor. It's going to start to cloud over in the afternoon as Dorian approaches. For Labrador tomorrow, lots of sunshine. 18 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay. Some nice light winds just before the storm starts. So this is what we have in place in terms of warnings. Hurricane watch for Gross Moor down through Port aux Basques. Gusts could get up to 150, 160 kilometers an hour. And this is Saturday night into Sunday. And we also have the tropical storm watch in place for the Northern Peninsula and for the Burgeo area. Concerns about pounding surf and storm surge as well. If you're in the east, though, central and the east, it's not going to be as bad. The rainfall amounts aren't going to be as bad. The winds aren't going to be as bad. And most of it is going to hit us when we're asleep, actually. So here's the track, once again, of Dorian. Going to be hitting the Maritimes, it looks like, as a Category 1 hurricane. Hopefully going to be downgraded by the time it hits the west coast of the island. And it's going to track right up through the straits there on Saturday night in through Sunday. So this is what it's going to look like. This is Saturday, 11 o'clock. Some heavier rain on the Avalon Peninsula just off the coast there along the south coast. Here we are Sunday, 5 a.m. Some heavy rains along the south coast there, the Port aux Basques area, up through the Northern Peninsula. Heavy, strong winds there as well. Sunday afternoon, looks like we could even see maybe a mix of some rain and some slushy weather there for parts of Labrador. Heavier rain, though, in southeastern Labrador, and it continues on, you can see, through until Sunday night. So while things are going to be clearing off in the east and central, that rain will persist right throughout the day and into Sunday evening. So here's a look at those winds again. Going to start to ramp up Saturday at around 10 o'clock right here in the Port aux Basques area. As we get in through the evening, 130 kilometers an hour by the time Sunday morning comes. Winds not too strong. You can see in the east about 55 kilometers an hour, but it's going to ramp up a bit more as the day goes on. So as it moves from south up to north, Stephenville, Sunday afternoon, 120 kilometers an hour. So you can see that those strong winds just move right on up. St. Anthony going to see the bulk of that strong winds Sunday night. So yeah, that's how it's going to play out there. In terms of rainfall amounts for the east and central, about 5 to 15 millimeters of rain, and that's going to be mostly in the overnight hours. As we get into Sunday afternoon, it should start to clear off, even though it will continue to be windy. For the south coast, 20 to 30 millimeters of rain for the Burgeo area. 15 to 20 millimeters for the west coast, so not a huge amount of rain. Looks like the southeastern portion of Labrador will see the most, 30 to 40 millimeters of rain there. So looking ahead in the long range, Monday things clear off nicely, 16 degrees, looking at some double-digit temperatures as we begin the work week. For central, some showers on Tuesday and Wednesday. For the west coast, showers there as well. Temperatures cooling down a bit as we head into the week. Some cloudy skies for eastern Labrador on Tuesday and Wednesday, and showers continuing for western Labrador, and 9 degrees. And that's your forecast. Anthony, back to you.
Thanks, Carolyn. A Canadian is just one win away from the country's first U.S. Open title. Bianca Andreescu squares off tomorrow afternoon against one of the sport's absolute greats, Serena Williams. Andreescu is coming to it after an exhilarating victory in the semis last night.
It sunk in yet?
A little bit. It's nice to have that day in between because I can actually go to sleep actually knowing that I'm in the finals, because if it's day after day, it's kind of too like chaotic, but I'm really glad I had the chance to celebrate a little bit with my family and friends, but it's not over yet.
Set match number 3. 2 sets to that, 7-6. She's that good.
Now, Andreescu was down 5-2 in the second set before surging back to win over Belinda Bencic of Switzerland. Tomorrow's match will be her first in the U.S. Open final. She's also the first player to get this far in her debut since 1997, when Venus Williams was the runner-up. Happy 50th anniversary yesterday to Maxwell and Clara Vautier of Marguerite. And a happy 53rd wedding anniversary to Mary and Gilbert Kinsella in St. Anthony. Tom and Elsie Lasaga live in Brook, and they're celebrating their 61st wedding anniversary today. And congratulations to Ford and Carolyn Freake on their 50th wedding anniversary. A happy 66th wedding anniversary yesterday to Clarence and Geraldine Butler in CBS.
Happy 54th wedding anniversary to Lloyd and Vera Bennett of Brook, now living in Clarenville. They celebrated on Wednesday. Happy 57th anniversary to Edgar and Julie Higdon in New Harbour. They celebrated on Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, happy 59th wedding anniversary to Stan and Doris Butler in Conception Bay South. Happy birthday to Violet Taylor, who's celebrating her 94th birthday on Monday. Violet lives in her own home in Port aux Basques. Happy 90th birthday also on Monday to Cassie Ivany of Clarenville.
And Stanley Elliott is celebrating his 91st birthday today. Stanley is from Cooks Harbour, now lives in Torbay. Birthday greetings to Gilbert Layte in Lewisporte, who celebrated his 90th birthday on Tuesday. A happy 55th anniversary yesterday to James and Daisy Ford in St. John's. And a happy 59th wedding anniversary to Marjorie and Floyd Day in Dildo, Trinity Bay, who celebrated their anniversary on July the 29th. Better late than never. And George and Joyce Chafe, they celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary yesterday.
Happy 53rd wedding anniversary yesterday to Edward and Tryphena Gale in Pollard's Point, White Bay. Happy 50th wedding anniversary to Irene and Wayne Chater of Topsail. Happy 62nd anniversary to Hardy and Jeanette Lambert of Twillingate, now living in Gander. Their big day is tomorrow. Claude Johnson from Labrador City celebrated his 90th birthday Wednesday. Marjorie Jones in Forteau, originally from Battle Harbour, turned 90 on Tuesday. Happy birthday.
And a happy 93rd birthday on Monday, the 9th, to Phyllis Lambert, originally from Greats Cove, now living in Carbonear. A happy 55th wedding anniversary to Adrian and Susie Hunt from Roshoon. Today is Hubert and Dildry Lodge's 50th anniversary. Bert and Marina Short from St. John's will celebrate their 60th anniversary on Monday. And a belated happy anniversary greeting, a 50th, to Harry and Shirley Balsam.
Happy 50th anniversary also this Sunday to Aaron and Diane Hewitt of Port-aux-Basque. Congratulations to Margaret and Leo Delaney of Stephenville on their 52nd anniversary on September 2nd. Happy 57th anniversary to Josh and Ruby Shea from St. John's. Happy 94th birthday yesterday to Emma Higdon in Corner Brook.
The happy 95th birthday to Edith Head in Grand Falls, Windsor. Birthday greetings as well to George Will White. He celebrated his 90th birthday on Wednesday. And Chesley Howell in Paradise, he turned 100 yesterday. And a happy 56th anniversary yesterday to Guy and Nora Pye in Lodge Bay, Labrador. Congratulations, everyone.
Fun crowd once again.
Birthdays and anniversaries, Friday tradition.
Yes, another tradition, nightly tradition, is our viewer picture of the day. Just have a look at this one. Just gorgeous rainbow. I think that's a double.
Is that real?
Yes,
it is real.
It's real.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just checking.
I think so.
I'm kind of cynical on these things, but that is real. It's a double rainbow.
Yeah, it looks like a double rainbow, and it was in packet. Don't get a whole lot of pictures from this area, actually, so it's great. Thank you so much for sending this in. Just lovely. Ashley Mitchell, thank you very much.
The Rainbow Connection.
Rainbow Connection. A little bit of Kermit the Frog.
Are you going to start singing it? The Rainbow Connection. No, I'll save that for some other time. Now, you're going to be off for a bit.
Yes.
So I'm starting to take this personally. I come back, Ashley leaves,
Yep.
then you come, and then I come back, and now you're leaving.
I know,
Is it
we're
something,
all over the place.
Something I said, maybe?
Just for a little bit. Just taking
Okay.
a little. I haven't really had much of a summer vacation, so just
Yeah.
taking a little bit of a break.
Well, I was on vacation when all this Kimmel stuff happened.
Oh, you
right?
missed. Wow.
Yeah, I was.
It was bananas.
It was hard to notice.
Yes. Now the Kimmel mania may have died down in a dildo, but there has been a new video that was released.
We're going to leave you with a song, John Reed and the Dildo song. We'll see you on Monday.
Good night.
A knock came on my door one day, and I went out to see. I saw my friend standing there, this question he asked me. He says, I have a paper here. I said, I think I know. You're going around from house to house to change the name Dildo. I said, now friend, I will not sign to change this precious name. I hope that every person here, they will feel the same. For God will travel with us wherever we may go. He will never laugh or joke about the name Dildo. D stands for our dignity, our name will never change. And I stands for the innocent child who should never feel ashamed. L we fought for liberty, D for days of old, while O spells out the loving word that we all call Dildo. Now when I die, I'll leave this place, the home in which I love. God, He gets me ready then to take me up above. He will take me by the hand, together we will go to a home He's built in heaven, which He has named Dildo. D stands for our dignity, our name will never change. And I stands for the innocent child who should never feel ashamed. Till we fought for liberty, for days of old, while old spells out the loving word that we all call Dildo. Now Dildo is a little town to sit beside the sea. You'll find the people oh so kind with hospitality. So come and take a visit, you'll always be a friend. There's a welcome mat by every door, don't knock, just come on in. B stands for our dignity, our name will never change. And I stands for the innocent child who should never feel ashamed. Till we fought for liberty, D for days of old, while old spells out the loving word that we all call Dildo.